In 1938, fishermen off the coast of South Africa pulled something out of the water that scientists said was impossible. A coelacanth, a fish that every textbook on the planet had listed as extinct for 66 million years, gone with the dinosaurs, wiped out completely. Except it wasn't. It was alive, breathing, and completely unchanged from its fossils. An entire species had been living undetected in the deep ocean for millions of years without a single person knowing. That happened once, which means the question is no longer whether something thought to be extinct can survive undetected. We know it can. The real question is, how big can that animal get before we would have definitely found it by now? Because there are places on this planet so remote, so inaccessible, and so unexplored that an animal the size of a bus could theoretically exist there without ever crossing a human being. Could one of them be something we buried 66 million years ago? Most people picture Earth as a fully mapped, fully explored planet. It isn't. The Congo Basin in Central Africa is roughly the size of Western Europe. It is so dense, so remote, and so difficult to move through that there are sections of it where no scientific expedition has ever set foot. Local tribes in that region have reported a large, long-necked animal they call Mokele-mbembe for centuries. Descriptions match nothing alive today. They match a sauropod. No confirmed evidence, no photograph, no body, but also no expedition that has fully covered the territory either. The deep ocean, we already covered. 80% unexplored, with creatures being discovered every single year that science had no idea existed. Then, there are the cave systems, enormous underground networks stretching for hundreds of kilometers that humans have barely entered. Entire ecosystems have been found thriving in total darkness inside them. We have not finished exploring this planet, not even close. Not all dinosaurs are equal when it comes to the question of survival. The large sauropods, the massive long-necked giants, are almost certainly gone. An animal that size needs enormous quantities of food and leaves evidence everywhere it goes. Bones, footprints, damage to vegetation on a massive scale. Something that large surviving undetected in any known environment stretches credibility past its breaking point. But smaller dinosaurs are a completely different conversation. Birds are technically avian dinosaurs, direct descendants, still alive, still everywhere. That's not a metaphor. That is the scientific classification. Dinosaurs did not go fully extinct. One branch of them is currently sitting outside your window. Beyond birds, the conditions that wiped out the non-avian dinosaurs, the asteroid impact, the volcanic activity, the climate collapse, were survivable for smaller, adaptable species in isolated environments. We know this because multiple species that lived alongside dinosaurs survived it. The coelacanth survived it for 66 million years, in secret. Here's where it gets harder to dismiss. The Mokele-mbembe isn't a single isolated legend. It is a consistent, cross-cultural description reported independently across multiple tribes separated by hundreds of kilometers of jungle, all describing the same animal in the same territory for hundreds of years. In Papua New Guinea, locals describe a creature called the ropin, a large, flying animal with a wingspan far beyond any known bird, reported glowing in the dark over the jungle canopy at night. Descriptions match a pterosaur more closely than anything currently alive. In Patagonia, Argentina, indigenous accounts of a massive water creature in remote mountain lakes have been documented since before European contact. None of these are confirmed. None have produced hard physical evidence that has held up to scrutiny. But here's the thing about the coelacanth. Before 1938, that was also just a story. Local fishermen had been describing it for years. Scientists dismissed it as legend. Then someone pulled one out of the water. For large non-avian dinosaurs, almost zero. The argument isn't just about sightings, it's about evidence. A large animal leaves behind shed skin, hair, waste, remains, prints, and environmental damage constantly. Camera traps, satellite imaging, and environmental DNA sampling, where scientists extract genetic material directly from water or soil, have made it nearly impossible for a large unknown animal to exist in any accessible environment without leaving a trace we can detect. But almost zero is not the same as zero. The coelacanth survived 66 million years undetected. The megamouth shark, a species over 5 meters long, wasn't discovered until 1976. A new species of beaked whale was confirmed as recently as 2021. Large animals are still being found. And environmental DNA sampling of remote jungle waterways in the Congo has returned results that don't match any known species on record. Scientists haven't confirmed what those results mean yet. The honest scientific answer is this: we have not looked everywhere. And history has repeatedly punished the people who assumed that absence of evidence meant evidence of absence.